Alright, y'all, welcome to the All Sports Pass Podcast West. I'm your host, Youth, and this week, I will finally be covering the Tennessee Vols again. I know, I never made a post-game review about Tennessee, Florida. I actually never had time at all, mostly with that, but sometimes I just didn't feel like it. So I'm going to say this now. Tennessee beat Florida with a final score of 23-17 in overtime. Now, of course, in my belief, I think Tennessee should have done better against the Gators. But, of course, it's Florida. They usually beat very well, and it's Tennessee. So, of course, obviously, this was due to our history. Of course, also, like, we lost to Arkansas. But now I know we're pretty much just snake bit. Because of our last game, it is Alabama, which, of course, I just had a much better offense. Now, of course, Tennessee won the game 24-17. That will be covered that's already covered on the North Channel. Offense didn't really do that well. But the defense is the saving grace for the Vols with their win over Bama. Of course, this means Nito is now 2-0 in his Florida and Bama in this season. Well, actually in his career as well, because Joe Milton played against Florida and Alabama last year. But for everyone saying that Nito's going to win the Heisman, in my opinion, it's probably going to be a while before Nito wins the Heisman. He's got to, do actual better in games. Because the last couple of games, he didn't really do that well. He overthrew some receivers. But hopefully that will change in this week's game, and it's Kentucky. Of course, as you all know, big rivalry game. It's similar to Alabama-Tennessee, except Tennessee has a huge advantage on Kentucky because the last 40 years, going all the way back to the 80s, Kentucky has only beaten Tennessee 3 times. Only 3 times. That's just strange. Even Bama-Tennessee had some kind of a closer rivalry, but this one's not close. Obviously, the jerseys are dark mode for this week. We usually wear those in South Carolina, Kentucky. Historically, when we're wearing black jerseys, we only wear them in South Carolina, Kentucky, not any other team. So I guess this is kind of a trend that we usually play against teams like South Carolina, Kentucky. Thing is, we don't play South Carolina this year, so it's perfect to play against Kentucky with those uniforms. But also historically within the fact that we are undefeated in dark mode uniforms. So obviously that could be the luck charm that we'll have in this game, and it's Kentucky. Talent-wise, Tennessee has more of the talent, despite the fact they're snake bit. They have not been doing very well. I mean, I use the term snake bit. My family members used it when they were watching Tennessee. So that's why I'm using that term. Tennessee's not been doing very well on offense. Their defense is championship contender form as of the moment. The offense is just what we need to fix. But obviously, now it's simple for Tennessee. They just ran out and made the playoffs. Georgia may be a bit of a block on the road, though. Without have Tennessee to, depend on other teams losing so that Tennessee makes the playoffs. Of course, as for Kentucky, they've seen some good games. They actually played well against Georgia. Georgia won 13-12. So that could be a bit of an advantage for Kentucky. And of course, even the loss to Vandy means something good for Kentucky, since Vandy actually played very well in this Bama and Texas, who were both top 10 teams. Well, not Bama at the moment, but they were when they played Vandy. But of course, as a rivalry stands, Kentucky has not played well against Tennessee at Neyland since 2020. But that was because Tennessee didn't practice that time in 2020. But of course, Tennessee, the last time they hosted Kentucky, it was a bit of a blowout. 44-6, I believe. And Tennessee's going to do the exact same thing here. Now, of course, my prediction is going to stand. I have Tennessee winning this game. But now I don't know if it's going to be a blowout or if it's going to be a close game. I'm probably going to say still blowout, but not as huge as a blowout as Chattanooga and State and all those games. I think like a 49 to like 10 result, or maybe 42-10. Who knows? The offense needs to get their step in the game at least, which hopefully they can do that this week. But of course, some of their players returning, that'll probably likely happen. After this week, they play Mississippi State. That will be covered on the North Channel, but there will be highlights since I will be going to the game. Anyways, this is the All Sports Pass Podcast West. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to subscribe to the North Channel. It will really help us out. Your host, You've signing out.